Hello and welcome to my thoughts on the Great Cleric. So, to start off, we're gonna get the big thing out. It's an isekai, so immediately, can a former salaryman become peerless in another world? A salaryman was shot to death just before earning a promotion, and a god decided to reincarnate him in another world as a 15-year-old healer named Luc. He's not even called that in the series. Luciel. This world 15 is an adult. On top of all that, the country he was born into seems to hate healers, which is what he is. Feeling that he's in danger, Lucy visits the Adventurers Guild in hopes of keeping himself safe. But the training is much harder than expected, and every day he's forced to drink a mysterious substance called Substance X. Wait, is this life? This life doesn't seem to have anything to do with being a healer. The day-to-day life of a super-masochistic back from the dead healer begins with his very survival on the line. It's currently on Crunchyroll. There are 12 episodes. So, with the description, we can go into like the story. Well, he's reincarnated episode 1. He's a healer, so he has to go to this he ends up at this city because he doesn't get reincarnated as a baby. He gets reincarnated as a 15-year-old in the middle of a field where no one's around. Okay, kind of weird. Never brought attention to except for like the first episode. So he walks to the city. He can see in the background, and he gets in for free because he's a healer, and he doesn't know what that means yet. So he runs into this paladin lady, Lumina. She's the commander of the Holy Valkyrie Knights, and he has to register with the Healers Guild, and he's therefore a member of that guild because he's a healer. He's their, I guess, property and like their person that they can do and tell him what to do at all times. He works for them, and so he registers with them, and they give him his own little room for a little while, maybe about a week, to see for him to practice his healing. So he only knows, like, I think he only knows heal right now, or either he's learning heal in the first episode, but he only knows one thing: the Adventurers Guild. So he gets a handle on heal, and he goes out looking for work. He ends up at the Adventurers Guild, which mainly to learn how to fight, because he has like he got to pick his skills, and he has S rank in martial arts, something like that. It's one of those skills like that, a fighting skill. So he gets training from his mentor teacher Brode, who's actually really well known, but we don't know that until series goes on more, or a season goes on more. He's actually super well known and the head of the Adventurers Guild, at least in that city. He becomes training under him in exchange for healing the people that come to receive healing, because healing's super expensive and monopolized in this city and like all around this country. So if he's willing to heal for free and to just receive training in exchange, that's fantastic. That's what they want. So episode 3 is him committing to the actual like job of like the Adventurers Guild puts up a job to the Healers Guild to have someone come work for them in the exact same thing he's doing, basically a job meant for him. And in exchange, he gets paid, he gets his food, a room, and he gets training. He just has to heal. So they start training. It's a big thing. They make him drink what is called Substance X, which it says in the description, and it has this weird look to it. It's like a goop of like a galaxy background. Is there a way you can see it right over here? And it looks really weird and has this gas above it because it just smells bad and it tastes terrible. So they make him drink that. We'll learn about that later on. Episode 5, he's it's the first time with the Adventures Guild with a short term, 1 year only, or like 1 month only, and now it turns into 1 year only. And that happens. And then episode 6 or episode 5, he has a run in with the local like clinic head, which is a really bad guy, piece of shit person who overcharges everything for healing. Uh, he has to run in it with episode 5, then to stay, and at the end of his assignment to the Adventurers Guild, he gets reassigned to the HQ of the Healers Guild, with the big Pope is at, and everything like that. He's gonna be reassigned, and against his will, of course. He works for them. They can do what he wants, and it's mainly because the head of the clinic in that city didn't get along with our main guy, and he's like, I don't like him, move him, and he gets moved. Of course, during his time this day, he meets these women, likes them a lot, talks to them all the time, Monica, and a few others, but these are the big ones. He also has this stat luck, super luck. Yeah, he's supposed to have like S rank and heal, or S rank in like being a healer, super lucky, and martial arts. And this is every time he's like, oh, thank you, luck sensei, or something like that, his picture pops up. It's just, I don't know why it does that, but it is weird. But that's kind of like the vibe of the show. It's all a little weird. So he's reassigned at the Holy City. He meets the boss. He gets his new assignment. Well, his boss, not the Pope. He gets training with the paladins and stuff like that. He goes into the dungeon. He's assigned as to clear the dungeon in the city, which is below the church. And as he does that, he fights all these monsters. He doesn't level up, and he finds all these equipment that's from past people gone into the dungeon and didn't make it out. He discovers the secret of Substance X through the Pope. After he's already cleared a lot of things for them, she reveals the secrets of like, here's what it says. This is what I know, is that it takes away one of the three, what it calls 3 primal urges. One of the 3, which is sleeping, eating, and sex. Our main character has no sex drive because Substance X takes all of that energy and puts it into him growing. His stats increase. That's what he does. That's what Substance X does. We also figure out that it's made through. It was made by a sage long ago. That's part of the church, so people wouldn't have to sleep or eat or stuff like that. Just a miracle cure, basically. In it, it turns into a sludge if you use like a spell on it, stuff like that. He goes into the dungeon, and he ends up spending I want to say a year, but I don't think it was a year. It's like 6 months. He ends up being locked in the dungeon because once you get to level 40, it locks you in there until you clear the dungeon all the way through, which is even past level 50. And so he gets locked in the dungeon because it itself has locked him in there for like a year, clearing it, or 6 months. The whole time, everyone he's built friends with, which is the local Adventurers Guild, the old Adventurers Guild, because he still goes around and heals people for basically free, and he does that when he can, when they need it. So they all come rushing because they think the church has him trapped in there, and they're all about to riot and storm the church because he's the only person that gives out heals for free, and he helps the local people. So he's like a really good guy. And the whole time, they just call him like masochist zombie, maso zombie, or like Saint Weirdo. And on the last episode, it's all the information he got. It's like, hey, this is everything we know. Because the end boss of the dungeon's a dragon. He's like, hey, the dragons are locked in these dungeons. Save who you can save. If you can, save them. And he figures out why the dungeons are a thing, that they're about to get way worse because the dragon reveals all these secrets to him. And through all this, he gets a special position to like probably do all of this because the Pope appoints him as like, he does not have to take any orders from anyone but me now. So that's kind of interesting. Like, he has a special privilege of do whatever he wants, and he can say no to anybody but me. That's kind of interesting. It just happens at the very end. So he clears the dungeon in the city, and he basically gets that special privilege, and it goes around meeting the girls he likes, which is these two, his mentor, and these three is the girls he likes, and like his mentor, the other adventure guild head, which I can't find a picture of. He's a little short guy. Um, this whole time it's just like saying good job, goodbye, stuff like that. Outro of the series kind of thing. Because I don't think they thought they was going to season 2, so they wanted to wrap it up pretty nicely, and I think it is. It did leave it open-ended enough to, like, if they got a season 2, which I highly doubt they will. They probably would announce it by now if they did. That this is it. It's very meh. So, like, the main character is probably the most interesting, because you would think he'd be bland, and he kind of is, but he's like, and also he's level 1 permanently, because Substance X also keeps you at level 1 forever in exchange for raising his stats. So he's level 1, but his stats are like basically fantastic. He's very actually, he has a personality. He's a weird guy. He likes girls, but he, like I said, he's infinite because of little Substance X. At least they lead to that thinking. He likes the two girls, Monica and Naya. Yeah, he's built a lot of friendships. He confronts the other clergymen for being such like stingy healers. He's actually a very interesting main character when you compare him to like his mentor, which is only strong and like trains people hard. The knight lady, who just is a strong female and has a soft side. Uh, Animal person, I don't think she actually has much of a personality. Monica, I think he saves her at one time, and she gets transferred to an adventurers guild at a request because she gets attacked at the healers guild because she's defending people. I forget what it was. And then this isn't even a person. This is just like super lucky personified into a person. He's always the main character is afraid of dying. He's trying to do like different ways of fighting. He uses lots of spells. He's actually the least bland person in this isekai, and that's something to say about it. But at the same time, this isekai itself is pretty bland, and I would say it's not even a 4.5. I would give it a 4, in all honesty. It started because there's nothing here to keep me even engaged. In all honesty, let's pretend it gets a season 2. There's no goal here. Clear all dungeons? Like, it's just him. There's no other characters to, like, get attached to here. They all have their own separate lives, and he's the only person going place to place for this. If you're going to give a season 2, give me someone else to latch onto. Not just the same person. If I don't like him, I actually don't like the series. So, like, right there is a big drawback. You're never going to see anyone every episode except for the main character. First half of the season, it's like everyone you see on screen. Second half of the season, it's everyone else you've already seen, like the knight, the pope, and one other lady that is a receptionist, and the other Adventurers Guild head. No, but none of them have personality except for the main character. So you automatically have to either give them personality or figure out something else for our main character to do. Because it's cool seeing him in a dungeon, but at the same time, it's repetitive, and it's the only reason they keep it interesting because every episode he goes and clears a boss until like episode 11 where he clears the 3 bosses because that has to be the end of it. So that's something. He gets granted the protection of the dragon, and the title Dragon Slayer also. Even though he didn't fight him, it was like, hey, I'll give you protection because you're not greedy, yada yada. You've done what you can, protect you, protect. So like, that's cool. The dragon was interesting, but it lasted for like a minute and he faded away. So that has to, if you're gonna get season 2, that has to change. If this guy was a side character and anything else, he'd probably be interesting. But he's the main character and he gets played out for his jokes. The whole Substance X is like a poison for people, or like it smells terrible and it like smells so bad monsters run away from it. Gets played out real fast. I don't care about it. It's the main joke. Well, it's a joke in every episode, and it's like, can we hurry up? That's like the worst part of it. It's very meh at that point. 12 episodes, 24 minutes each. Started July 7th, 2023, ended September 22nd. Average score is 68. I can see it. If you like the main character a lot, I can see it. But that's about it. Of course, you have other people. They don't really do enough to, like, he's a cook at the first guild. He works at his first guild too. They usually work together. This is a knight. This is the receptionist at the second, in the Holy City. Like, that's about it. And that's not even the other characters that's on here, or the other characters that'd be in the show isn't even on here. The studios is Yokohama Animation Lab and Cloud Hearts. I don't really know anything about them. Comedy, adventure, fantasy. It's very much more comedy over anything else. Magic, yes. Medicine, yep. Isekai. It is on Crunchyroll in sub and dub. English, of course. I don't know about anything else. And the staff would be Broccoli Lion. That's their original creator. Is that? Let me Google it. I don't want to. Great Cleric, original creator. I don't want to miscredit somebody. Broccoli Lion and Semi. Okay, well, if that says that, and that's a different website reference, I'm just gonna go with it. The director is Makoto Tamagawa. He also directed Gene Prince's Guide to Raising Kingdom at Debt. Okay, so he's done some work. That's pretty cool. Is there anything else I want to go over just to make sure? Social. That's about it. It's a very meh show. I can't see it getting season 2, but at the same time, even though it's not great, it was an enjoyable watch. I did complete it. I probably watched it in about a week total. But anything else would be rambling. Not the best Isekai season. Meh. 4 out of 10. Other than that, I appreciate you watching. You have a good one.